It's been a while since I've been here. I used to do deliveries here sometimes. There's one area not too far from here. I spent a day years back just having fun. It's a beautiful area, and I was really excited because there was a parking area, there was a parking garage, and I'm thinking, oh, I might actually lose money on this delivery because I don't feel like looking for a parking spot. And it turned out it looks like since I was only gone for like 3 minutes, it looked like they didn't charge me. The thing opened right up, no QR code or anything. Now I don't know if that's normal, but that's how it turned out, and that was really cool. Honestly, I'm gonna have to leave you for a second for my GPS. I'm back for a second, y'all. I just want to do. It's one of my favorite places to drive through, and sometimes occasionally walk through. Just depends. Usually too busy to do the walking part, but it is a gorgeous area. Okay, so I should be turning here, I believe. Oh, 1 second. Oh no, we're turning here. Fudge. Okay. Fudge. It's the only thing. About DTV more is that you never know quite what you're gonna get like a box of chocolate. Now it's gorgeous here, but if you have high blood pressure, if you have high anxiety, driving through can be a pain in the butt. It's gorgeous if you're a passenger, but yeah. But if you're not a good passenger, yeah, it can be a pain in the booty. I'm turning. I don't even know what I'm turning on. It's like Chase. Yep, I'm turning on Chase Street. Oh yeah, I'm still doing delivery. I'm turning on Gulfport Avenue. I'll have to go in between while I'm looking at the GPS more carefully, because it's not just the GPS directions, it's the map that I rely on. But yeah, I love this area. The map, I rely heavily on the map because I grew up with maps. So like, yeah, when there's an issue, potentially at least, then am I turning here? No, I'm not turning here, but I will get into the other lane if I can. And then Gulford. But no, I love this area. I mean, it's very populated. It's very difficult to find parking, but it's awesome. It is awesome. And like when I went to the parking garage to pick up my order, I get one of the excuses I have to come out here is to make a little extra money. And sure enough, it didn't charge me. And I don't know if that was an error in the system or it was because I was only gone for like 3 minutes. I have a feeling if you're not out long enough, I have a feeling the system doesn't charge you, which is pretty amazing. And hold on 1 second, I gotta turn onto Gulford, which is not, there we go. I'm assuming it's right here. Let me see, is that Gulford? Yep, that is Gulford. So we're turning right here. Fudge, there's a bus right beside me. I gotta be really careful. Oh, fudge, no, I didn't miss it. This is Gulford. Okay. 1 second, green light. Okay. Holy flapjacks. And then I'm gonna turn right onto East North Avenue. East North Avenue. A minute. 0.3 miles. Oy. Put my hazards on. Go around them real quick. But also common in parts of like downtown Baltimore and parts of Baltimore City, parts of Baltimore County, especially the highly populated areas, the denser areas. That's quite common. If you do a lot of delivery around here, and I have over the years, I've avoided it in recent years more because of the wealthy area. It doesn't have any place to park. One of the things I like about it, like lower socioeconomic areas, is you often have a place to park. But you would think it would be the other way around, wouldn't you? That does seem kind of backwards, doesn't it? But really is the way it is. It really is the way it is. Oftentimes, not always, obviously not always. This is where we at now. We're at East Lafayette. By the way, in the city I grew up in, it's a small city. It's more of a town, incorporated community, whatever you want to call it. But there's a Lafayette Street there too. But yeah, it's a beautiful. It always is beautiful. Parts of Baltimore County and parts of Baltimore City are just gorgeous. Now we're turning here. It looks like. Oh, excuse me. Thanks for the likes, y'all, by the way. I appreciate that. Sometimes when I say that, they'll take the likes away, but yeah, please don't do that. And if you do it, you do it, but it seems kind of mean, especially when I thank people for it and they take them away. It's like, why? It's like, yeah, thank you for the likes. Let me take the likes away. No one can thank me. Oh, fudge. I want to say. Oh, okay, no one's honking at me. It's like, with a red arrow, you're not really, I don't think you're ever supposed to turn with a red arrow. With a red light, I could turn right, but with a red arrow, I don't think you're ever supposed to. I could be wrong with that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but pretty sure I'm right about that. There we go. So we're turning now. Now we're turning left. Is it Greenmount Avenue? I'm gonna switch back and forth real quick. I gotta check the GPS or something. Okay, we're turning left apparently at the red light right after this one. Greenmount. So I know the names of a lot of these streets. It's just, or at least enough of them, to have some familiarity. The problem isn't that. The issue that usually arises usually when it's busy and trying to change lanes, like if you don't remember the exact lane. Similar, there's a part in Harford County that's very similar with that regard. There's another beautiful area. It's called Constant Friendship. It's a gorgeous area, but the problem is, or the issue, or the concern is that they have like 4 like different lanes, and if you make the wrong turn, you just keep going in circles. Yeah. Yeah.
How you doing, son?
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing, bro?
Yeah. How you doing? How you doing? I don't got any money, brother. It's all on my card. That's, by the way, I'm not lying. It really is all on my card. And I wasn't able to pay all my bills last month. One of the issues too is a lot of the people doing it. They're usually not even really homeless, and sometimes they never say they are. It's just assumed by people. It's for a lot of people, it's a hustle. I probably shouldn't. Well, I don't know. I don't want to not acknowledge them all the time, but sometimes I think it's the best way to go about it. I probably shouldn't have, but I don't want to. I don't know. Part of the hustle is to kind of speak to your humanity in a sense, and that's even those of us who know that it's a scam most of the time. We're kind of suckered into that because we're good people. We're not good. No one's good, but we're decent people, So that's they know what they're doing. They're smart. They are smart when they do that. Let's see, turning right onto East 24th. Is it bonjour, bonjour? Ah, bonjour. Hi, ça va? Ça va bien? How are you doing? Are you from France? Haiti? Whatchamacallit, there's what's another big one would be, what is it called? The Congo is another big French-speaking area. Is it that? If I say something you can't understand, I'll translate it from Canada. Ah, Canadian French. Aha. Oh, I was way off. Well, I guess that's not that off because France, I think France French is pretty close. I think it's closer to like Quebecan French than it is like Louisianan French or Haitian French. But from Canada. Oh, Canada. East 24th. Turning right on East 24th. The land, something. Yep. I love these old buildings. I really do. I love coming to this area, but I don't love driving through it. If I had someone to drive me, I would. Let's see. 500. Okay, that's East 23rd. So next week. I do kind of like the convenience of having it. Oh, fudge. Thank you for not jumping in front of me. That's a 90s car there, too. Fudge. Okay, hold on one second. I can't look at the comments right now. These streets are just rough. It's not necessarily anybody's fault. It's just the way things turn out, but... not giving me... Give me one second. I'm turning left on the Alameda or something like that. Alameda. Wherever that is. I think I'm supposed to go this way. Let me see. As long as nothing changes, I'm good. I'm probably going to pull up the GPS for another quick hot second. I go back and forth pretty quickly, but I don't even know if it pauses the stream or not, but it only takes me like 3 seconds. What does he say? Freud. Okay, there's still 2 lights I got to go through. Je suis. I know I am. Yo soy, and French would be je suis. I think. I don't know, but like Haitian French, I don't know if they pronounce the S. I think some dialects of French, they might pronounce the silent letters that are silent in like Quebec, and I think in Quebec and French, but at least in France French. And I think in some contexts, like I think the people like the Haitians I've talked to, definitely I think they pronounce some of the S's sometimes, but it seems different too. I think there's various dialects of French in Haiti and other parts of the world, because like the Haitian French I was learning on like Duolingo is very different from the Haitian French I see from other Haitians, and I think because like the Haitian French on Duolingo, it was like it was Haitian Creole, I think, like Louisiana Creole. So the Haitians I meet are probably speaking in proper French, whereas Haitian Creole, those Haitians, they might know it. Even the Haitians I've met, they might know Haitian Creole, but they might not be as want to use Haitian Creole because it might not have the same standard. Because like France French is seen as like the go-to French. So even in Louisiana, when they teach French, they don't teach Louisiana Creole, which is its own language, or at the very least dialect, but they instead teach typically the kind of French that's from France. So I have a feeling that might actually be why all the Haitians seem to speak with like proper French, as some might refer to as like proper French. I don't know if that's really the right way to look at it from a linguistic perspective, but I think it might be why, because it might be seen as the polite form of French to use, whereas like Haitian Creole and Louisiana Creole might just be the kind of French you kind of use with your buddies and your family and stuff. And kind of like with English, where we use common vernaculars in our day-to-day speeches, but if I'm writing an academic essay, I am going to not, I'm not going to probably use terms like fishes or, other terms that are used in common speech, but I might not say I'll spell it out. I am going to, so like when you use, I guess it might be like a more standardized in polite, respectful society, designated for that kind of usage. Whereas, yeah, that actually wouldn't make a lot of sense thinking about it. Anyway, yeah. That would be my guess. Because I was just thinking about that. Because it's like why are all the Haitians who speak to me in French using like France French and not using Haitian Creole? And that's probably why. It might have a lot to do with being polite. It might be because they might expect more people in this area to be more familiar with France French than Haitian Creole. What's funny is I'm not very familiar with either, but in at least in some respects, I might actually be more familiar with Haitian Creole than I am with the kind of standardized France French, which I know very little of. I know Spanish, I know bits and pieces. Like for example, like if I meet a Haitian when I'm doing money services, I might say s'il vous plaît, and they might say s'il vous plaît, and they might want it like not, don't abbreviate it, you know what I mean? And that's, I think, largely due to them trying to be proper with their French in a business transaction, which is I don't know, kind of interesting, because I was kind of wondering about that. It's like, do Haitians really speak Haitian Creole? Because I don't seem to encounter that, but I'm starting to think that, yeah, in business endeavors they might stick with standardized French from France, as opposed to the Creole dialects that probably have developed over there over the years. I think it's quite probably similar in Louisiana, where I would, well, historically, maybe not nowadays, but I would think that they might be more want to use a, English or maybe French when encountering business, doing items of business. Whereas, yeah, Creole might be kind of used, in more like comfort settings, like kind of similar to how African American vernacular English and other common vernaculars, which African American vernacular, I'll just say AAVE. AAVE is often used in less formal settings, and it is arguably, though not everyone would agree, but let's just say it's closely connected with Southern common vernacular dialects, which are often also used in a much more relaxed setting. And but it is interesting too. Like, it is very interesting to note that some dialects are designated as usable for like different dialects are applied to different environmental settings. Like, from a linguistic perspective, it's very interesting because grammatically these different dialects, they have their own grammatical mechanisms, but but still a lot of people don't consider them to be proper in certain or at least appropriate in certain settings. I mean, that leads to a very interesting question. Why? I think there are a lot of like cultural and elements that go into this, but it is a question. It is a question: is why? If they're not less complex or anything like that, they're just as complex and beautiful as other dialects. Why? I think one of the best answers is probably a consortium of different variables and considerations. And yeah, I think it comes down to a lot of different things. Well, it's the Canada we have a mix of different cultures, like French, German, British. Yeah. Well, I didn't know about the Germans. I didn't know there were a lot of Germans in French. Canada. But yeah, I knew there was a high population of the French, and I probably could have presumed. Fudge, am I stuck now? Why are they? Oh, because they're turning. It's like, wow. These roads are so odd. Because I could go now, but I can't because I'm literally locked in. Not locked in the common vernacular sense. I am literally locked in. You guys better go, because there is an ambulance behind you, and now I can't go because of the ambulance. Holy flapjacks. That's why I don't usually deliver around here. If you're in a situation like this, you might lose quite a bit of money. Okay, I'm going right now. I'm taking the initiative. We got some... Yeah, hold on, I'm going to read it. You said something about the Germans. Give me 1 second. 50 feet. Hold on 1 second. I might have to leave you in a sec. Not permanently, but long enough to figure out where I'm delivering to. Turn right. What, right here? Oh, right here. I could have got in the other way, silly goose. Fudge. Oh man, that car's taped up. They wanted a salad. And that I get. Okay, let me read your comment, and then I will go finish my delivery real quick. Put my hazards on. Let's see. And please subscribe so we can talk more. Yeah, most people in my hometown are German and ask some French, and that's interesting. Guten Tag. Hey, y'all, I'm back. You know, something just occurred to me too. I wasn't really thinking about. I thought it was a little odd that the trip was 30 minutes out of the way, and it occurred to me it's probably because I had tolls turned off. Now, the reason I did that was largely because if the tip isn't good enough, you end up potentially losing money, which I have in the past. But it just occurred to me that's probably why, because, yeah, the app might not bring up that there are tolls or whatever. And, yeah, if you're not trying to lose money and there's no sign that there's like a high tip or anything, it's just, yeah, it hadn't really occurred to me. I was kind of thinking like, yeah, it was kind of far away, but it was less than half an hour, so it wasn't like too odd to me, and it was in the city. But like looking into it more, I'm thinking like, yeah, that's probably, you let me go, thank you. I'm starting to think, yeah, that's probably what happened. They probably assumed I was gonna had the tolls turned on, and was probably gonna do that. But the thing is, like DoorDash, they don't reimburse you. You pay the tolls. If you come up a negative number, it's basically on you as a contract worker. They don't, yeah. This is gorgeous here. But yeah, that's why I wasn't even thinking about that, because I could have turned tolls off to see if it changed, or turn the avoid tolls off to see if it would have changed the amount of time. Then again, in the inner city, it's kind of hard. There's some people who can, but I think I got there pretty quickly and out of there pretty quickly, because like that part of the city, even finding, wait, no, this is not the right turn. That's an alleyway. Even finding a parking spot, I did it like that. I'm a little more prepared than I used to be. But a lot of people, they don't really think about it. And by the way, if you're still on, Germans being around you, that's pretty cool. I think there are some Amish in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I know they got, so why do I bring that up? Because they're descendants of Germans. So it's sometimes people don't quite get why you bring certain things up. That's why I bring it up. For context, a lot of times people, like, I'll connect something to something else and they won't know the context because they haven't studied the same things. I love that house over there, that big old porch they got. That is gorgeous, especially the rise. I don't know how safe the neighborhood is, but around here you kind of just, something bad happens, it happens. You don't. You take precautions, but around here there's only so much you can do. I love the balcony over here. You can see it. Gorgeous. And if you're in these kind of areas, hopefully you've learned to defend yourself. So, yes, and of course, stay with Adonai, and Adonai is our protection. Anyway, I think I saw some messages. I'm gonna see it as soon as I get to the red light. Take a look at your messages in a second. Looks like I gotta clean that window too. Let me see. One second. Hope I didn't miss much. No, she was already there. I hope I handed it to her and not to somebody stealing her order. But there was no pin or anything. And the door was locked on the outside. It said leave it in front of, and it had the door number and the letter combination. Like a lot of those buildings where you have like 1F, 2G and all that. Well, they had it, but the problem was the door was locked to get into that part. And there was like no way of getting in. And so if it wasn't her, if it was somebody else, it's like, if it was the wrong person, I should have confirmed the name, but in those cases, it's a little bit more dicey, because it's like, well, they probably didn't even think to put that in instructions. They might be like visiting, or they might have just forgot, But like that's really important if you're having food delivered or anything delivered to you. They have to be able to get into the building. A lot of the deliveries too, they'll have like intricate instructions of how to get in. This one didn't have like anything, so hopefully I don't get any bad feedback for that. I might get bad feedback for the time. Apparently, I think it was like, but see, I almost paid for parking, so I'm kind of thinking, Kind of thinking I should be okay. Oh fudge, there's a camera coming up. Make sure I'm going 30. That's why I didn't live in an apartment complex. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point. It's a good point. If I ever bought a house in the U.S., it would probably be in the country, probably in West Virginia or Pennsylvania, or maybe parts of New York State. But no, I wouldn't want to live in like near the city necessarily. I wouldn't want to necessarily live too far away from it, but I would like to live in an area where I don't have to be overly concerned about precautions against thievery. I'd rather just live in an area where you still take the precautions, but it's not really very common. Like parts of northern Maryland, parts of like throughout Pennsylvania, parts of like New York State, parts where it's not super common and there's not that many people there to begin with. It helps to be in like a small community where you know everybody. Now, like the city I live in is a little bit populated, but it's not super populated. It has a few enough people to where I see regular customers all the time. And it's like a significant portion of our population. I think we actually are relatively populated, but I see a lot of the people who are out and about. So, you get to know the people. Even the people that don't know me know me. There was a guy who came up and shook my hand. He was like, I never really had a chance to talk to you, but I see how you interact with other customers, and I just wanted to shake your hand and thank you. I was like, oh wow, okay. But I was like, okay, like that made my night. And yeah, but like even the people that don't know who you are kind of know who you are, and it's not and like whatever store you end up working at or business or whatever the case may be, you're only dealing with a portion of the population on top of that. But yeah, the whole area is not that big, and it's dense. It's somewhat densely populated in my area, but it's not like over the top. And crime is a problem there. And we like I know my mom had part of her delivery stolen, but like by our next door neighbor, which is I just don't think they like us. I said a while ago I was cranky, and I said some things I don't think he liked. And I think I made him mad. Does that justify him stealing anything? No, but I think it was personal. Doesn't justify it, but yeah, I think it was personal. I think he heard I was cranky and I was talking about things, and yeah, I guess he didn't like what I was talking about. And yeah, fudge. We gotta. Oh well, baby, I gotta go straight too. Somebody's better start moving. Sweetheart, it's green light. Come on, honeys. Come on, somebody has to move somewhere. Yeah, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Fudge, dude. Wait a second. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. That worked, I think. I kind of just skipped in front of them. I wasn't trying to be rude about it, but they weren't moving either. And I wasn't supposed to turn. That was a turn on. See, that wasn't me honking, but it got their attention. Holy fudge. Oh, y'all left? I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Sorry if I'm talking about things that are kind of silly and kind of trivial. Thank you. Kind of silly and trivial. I like the middle of... Oh, you're back. Good. I like the middle of nowhere in Quebec. Yeah, that sounds like paradise. I love the winter too. Now, if I had a decent amount of money to get like enough lotion and stuff, because my skin is not what it. You get older, your skin gets drier, easier. I think even when I was like an adolescent, like a young adolescent, I was already getting to that point. You don't have this like as soon as you're born, your skin starts to go from super soft to less soft pretty quickly, but. Yeah, if I had like the proper resources, like enough lotion to keep my skin from getting too dry, yeah, Quebec would be great. I do like the cold. I like the cold. I just don't like what the cold does to my body sometimes. Like especially with like my back and my knees. I don't think it does them a whole lot of help either. But I do love the cold. if I had like if I had a younger version of my body, I would be probably enthused by it even more than I am now. But I still enjoy it. I love the winter. I love the areas that snow. It's just my body doesn't love it. I'm still a big kid. I'm just trapped in this older body because yeah. It's, but I was even thinking, even when I was like 12 though, like, yeah, I was already suffering from dry skin during of course that winter I think was particularly harsh. And I think it was also, there might have been other factors. I might have been just washing myself way too much, or washing my hands at least way too much. I had no idea the problem was. Like my hand, I remember my hand, like when I was like 12, maybe 13, was in severe pain. And I think I eventually got to the point where I brought it up to my mom, and she was like, yeah, just use Vaseline. I did, and I don't think it helped completely immediately, but it like started, because like it was actually kind of interesting. I don't know what happened to my body then. I don't think I've had anything like it since, but like it was so dry that there were like cracks in my hand. Like it was in severe pain, and it was like leather, or not leather. It was like lizard skin almost. Like, well, no, it was like leather, like a combination of lizard skin and like actual rock. It was very hard. I feel like that must have been more than just dry skin though, because I don't think I've ever had something like that since. And I sometimes do forget to. I generally do forget to put the kind of lotion on that I should be, but or anywhere near it a lot of the time, or even most of the time. But at the end of the day, well, actually, I think the majority of the time, yeah, I neglect my skin and my body in that way. But like that particular year, though, I don't know why it got that dry. That was a bit odd. Something else must have, I don't know if I was like sick with something, or if it was, I don't know. I just don't know what was going on there. I don't know, because yeah, looking back on that was kind of horrific. I'm also kind of surprised nobody else noticed, but you know, I was just keeping it to myself, so not that surprising. You don't usually spend a lot of time just like glaring at people's hands down, so that might have been why. Oh, I did a delivery here not too long ago. Okay, we're still in this area. Yeah, I walked down these. Yeah, I parked over there and I had a delivery over there. Some people were dancing at one time. Yeah, there's certain parts of here. There's certain parts of Baltimore that I recognize. Some of it's kind of aliens. A lot of it's pretty familiar from one or more past experiences. It's a beautiful area. There's a lot of crime and stuff, but like typically Baltimoreans are often very, very kind and helpful. Obviously, that's not true for the entire population. Like everybody has their buttholes, it would seem, especially if they're populated. But Baltimore gets a bad rap. I think it's largely unjustified. What were you saying? I can give you some free. I have too many bottles of lotion. I'm only 21 and obsessed with skincare. Well, you know what? Really, Vaseline barely works for me. It's kind of a toss-up for me. It kind of depends on what my goal is. It does not work as well as other things do, but yeah, I would say Vaseline is not the best, but I would say it's kind of the poor man's lotion, for me at least, and I'm kind of, that's why I was doing DoorDash. I'm kind of struggling at the moment. I'm trying to get this back into the school system. I took a break. I'm trying to get back in, but you know, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll see. I'll probably put in a bunch of applications tonight. I only made like 20 bucks on DoorDash, but that's definitely enough to pay for the gas at least. And I made like $100 donating plasma. So at the end of the day, I still made $100 profit. So I think that's pretty good. I will probably just go home, take a nap, and then probably do some deliveries before the other job tomorrow. I just want to wash clothes, blah blah blah, just regular stuff. But yeah, if you're obsessed with skincare, that's awesome. You could probably teach me some stuff, because I really do want to take better care. I think I take better care of my skin than some people do. Some people like neglect their skin to an extreme level, like I did when I was 12 in that scenario. But I don't know. I probably neglect. I don't know. I do neglect my skin more than I should. Not best to always compare ourselves to other people. Comparing ourselves to ourselves can be good, I think. Doesn't really matter what the majority of people do. In terms of what I'm doing, one might say. Or maybe something like that. Oh, got another camera. What's the speed limit here? 25 or 30? Everybody's slowing down. So, okay, I'm at 20. Yeah, less than 25 now. I should be okay. Okay, looks like we're probably okay. I can probably go a little faster. But yeah, skincare. That was a speeding camera, by the way. Yeah, skincare is awesome. One of the things too is just like I don't know. There's a lot of good things about skincare. Oh, I have not been here in a while. I don't know if I remember that being a Family Dollar, or if that's new. Might have been there. Might just not be remembering. Nephew's Pizza, yeah. Okay, I'm actually getting kind of hungry now. Getting kind of hungry. Might actually stop by Walmart and grab some ramen. I'm getting very hungry. Some ramen and some onions. Onions are good. That should be, yeah. Anyway. What did you say? Oh, let me look what you said in one sec. And yeah, please subscribe. It's been very pleasant conversation we've been having, I think. I'd like to have it again. But let me read your comment when I get the chance to. Sorry. I think you're still watching, but it's not showing that you're watching. So I'm assuming that it's like the Brave browser or something, but I could be wrong. Oh, you're back? Okay. Let me read your comment in 1 second. I gotta get to a stop sign, or it looks like, oh, we're going to turn on 40? Not 95? I'm kind of glad that it avoids 95 now. I don't like going 95. Route 40 is way better. Okay, well, if I get on the either highway, I can, looks like we're going, okay, Debelius Avenue. Either highway we get on, I can look at your message. As soon as I'm in an area that's relatively safe. These areas have a lot of speed cameras and stuff, and it's a little bit more difficult. Debelius? What is Debelius? I could just go on 40 East, which is right there, when we're passing it. So we probably are going on Route 40. Route 95, which would probably be quick. 1 second to read your comment. I cannot read it when I'm driving like this. These areas are much more dangerous than some areas. Let's see. Sports has an effect on your skin due to the sweat. That's true. It causes, and others. Oh, did I just miss my turn? I think I just missed my turn. Oh, I did miss my turn. It was Debelius or whatever it was. I should have turned on Route 40. That would be a one-way. That would have been a one-way. That would have been easy peasy. Oh, here's where. There's that one law firm over there, I think. I don't know if they're still here. Others that have effect on that pores in your face and skin, which cause some people to break out and something. When I was younger, I thought the breakouts, at least on the ladies, when I was younger, I thought that was attractive, but it is good to know why. And a lot of people don't like it. Some people do, some people don't. But I think it would also depend on to what extent. Like when I was younger, I used to have a saying. When I was a middle to late adolescent, which was imperfection is the key to perfection. And of course, that's very context dependent too, by the way. But there's many cases when it comes to personal beauty standards. A lot of people like something like a little bit of hair to the side, or maybe like a few parts of the skin that are a little bit off. I love those stairs and that old bridge. I love that. Like a few things here or there. A lot of people like stuff like that, or maybe like a few flakes off of painted nails or something. But at the same time, people often don't like. People don't seem to like one extreme or the other usually too much. But yeah, usually erring with the side of clean skin is, I think, usually the popular opinion. But it's definitely not all people. And of course, for me, my big thing is against dry skin, because dry skin, look at these stairs. I love this. And this bridge too is a wonderful bridge. This is amazing. I love, we have places like that in the town where I grew up. But yeah, like there's a lot of different opinions and things as to what is, in terms of beauty standards, and but a lot of the things that has to do with skincare, it's not even always about beauty standards. It's a lot of times it's just about general health, and that's where a lot of things come into play. Because when it comes to health, it's like I can give a quick example. Like for me, I have generally been more attracted to, at least in my adult life, to like women that are like a little bit extra, right? But I would not push somebody to do that. Like I don't think, like a good husband or boyfriend, I don't think, or girlfriend, or any situation in a romantic or whatever, I don't think, obviously you wouldn't want them to push their partner to gain weight just because they think it's more attractive because of the health issues involved. So like I would say that generally speaking, obviously health, oh, we're on Route 40 now, good. Health trumps, when it comes to bodily care, hygiene, beauty perspectives, whatever the case may be, skin care, nail care, hair care, all that stuff. Gut health, a lot of it comes down to, the health is more important than the connection to, the perceived attractiveness to maybe, a large group of people. The health definitely trumps that. Oh, there's the rural farms I stopped at when I was coming back from Washington, D.C. I think this part, oh, there's the masjid. I don't know if you saw that on the left. There's a Muslim masjid on the left. Yeah, this area, I think, still has the speed camera, so I got to be a little bit careful. Okay, finally, we got a red light. Let me read your comments. Let me read your comments. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on and on. I am very tired. I donated plasma. Let me see what you're saying. Was it, I did, hold on. Okay, talking about the sweat causing dry skin. I have college, so I might be able to watch during 5 to 3. Oh, that's fine. I don't have an issue. You don't have to watch me all the time. I just kind of wing it, man. I just kind of on when I am. And hey, we have a close sounding last name. Really? What's your, let me see. I will fudge. My dyslexia, we'll have to wait for another red light, because my dyslexia, I cannot read if your last name is even in your username. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I'll have to double check. Give me one sec. If it is. If it's not, and you don't want to tell me, I understand that. You got to be careful with how much you put out there. I'm a little bit more just throwing things out there. I'm not as secretive. Part of that is because when I was younger, I got gaslit a lot, so I kind of just throw any and all information about myself just out there, so that if anybody claims anything, and even then they'll still try sometimes, but I'm very transparent in my life, largely because I don't want to be gaslit. That's a big, like, I know that might sound kind of silly, but it's just, I don't like it, man. I don't like it when people try to play with your mind, man. I don't think most people do. I don't think most people enjoy that, but yeah, it is one of the ways to address it, and that's the way I chose to do it. Not for everybody. It's one of the reasons I really got into streaming, is largely because of that. It's like, well, this is what I'm doing with my life. You're saying I'm doing this and that. Nope, this is my life. Here's a 10-hour live stream of me just living life. It's like, yeah, like, you can't really, as, I don't know if you watch his channel, but Skeet Hansen just likes to say, the proof is in the pudding. Like his channel's not for everybody. Not everybody likes his kind of stuff. His channel is very popular though. If you ever watch, if you do know what I'm talking about. Let me read your comments. We've got a red light coming up. Okay, I'm getting sweaty anyway. It would be good to go to the gym and then wash my clothes. And you mentioned the sweat, and of course, I mentioned the like washing the hands, stuff like that. Yeah, any kind of liquid during the cold seasons, I think, dries your skin out. You're talking about how it related to the pores. We have a close eye. Fun fact: if your lover under the your eye, if it's red or in the dark, pale or what sign, disease that you need to. Oh, wait, what was it? Fun fact: lower. If you lower the under part of your eye, if it's red or dark pink. I might have to try that. I think mine's like a brighter red, so I think I'm okay. But yeah, that's definitely something I could try to look for. I hadn't really thought of that. I didn't know that. I don't know if you said you had some college. I don't know if you study medical health. It sounds like you might, or because even if you're studying skincare, that's definitely related to like the biological health, depending on what kind of skincare we're talking about. But I definitely would like to have softer skin. Now, with the kind of like, certain jobs you do, sometimes your hands get roughed up a little bit. Like, it's not terrible. Like, there are plenty of guys that have way harder hands than I do from the kind of work they've done, but it's a little bit harder than it, definitely harder than like the average, like a lot of young people. Because even if you're not working, you don't have to be working the hardest jobs in the world, but if you're working your hands for long hours, I think it generally does it. And then the people who work the jobs that are the hardest on their hands, I think they end up getting really like calloused and stuff over time. But it's not like farm. I don't do farm work or anything. Like I was just doing deliveries right now. But like there's farm work. I think will really that'll definitely having. Grandpa has a farm. Once in a blue moon, I'll do that. Very seldomly, but I'll help out once in a blue moon. And yeah, you're going to get calluses. You're going to get at least one callus. You're going to you might rub up some of the skin in your feet if you're, depending on how you're walking around and stuff, what kind of shoes you're working with. Now imagine some people do that as their main source of income. Imagine doing all that. And of course, for them, it definitely calluses up. Definitely does for them. Because they're doing it all the time. And the wounds heal up and then they reopen when they keep working. It's a rough life, but you know what? A lot of farmers find a lot of satisfaction in that. And not all farmers, depending on what kind of farming they do. Because like with the chickens, you're not necessarily using your hands a whole lot. And I think if you wear the right kind of footwear and everything, I think I think one of the problems is that I would wear stuff from like everyday wear. Because it's like your mother's like, hey, like you want to go sigh for a few hours? You want to go sigh the fields of Grandpa's house? Like you're expecting to do that if that's not like a major part of familial functioning. And it's like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Like if it helps you. Like it helps me a lot because like my mom was doing that for a while, helping Grandpa sigh the land. He refuses to get a motor power. I think he might actually have one now, but he is very against like any kind of gas or oil based like any motor based kind of farm equipment. So he just like sighing and the push mower. I remember growing up using the push mower. And it's like this is not even fun. It's such a pain in the booty. If he had like a power motor, or sorry, like a motorized, like a motorized. I love mowing lawns. I don't love using the push mower though. That thing is a pain in the butt. The old-fashioned push motor is a pain in the butt, unless you have like a flat surface. If you don't have a flat surface, it's not the funnest. Anyway, let me see what you've been writing. Oh yeah, I just read that one. I am not related to Mark Zuckerberg. Okay. But that is my last name. Okay, Zuckerberg. And my name is Beverly Zuckerberg. Well, it is very nice to meet you, Miss Beverly. You're funny. I'm funny, huh? Oh, hopefully in a good way. I'm learning to be a physical therapist. Oh, very nice, very nice. Very, very nice. That's something the world definitely needs, especially people like me with bad backs and bad knees. That's a good line of work. It's a lot of people. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Good work. It's work that definitely needs to be done. There's a lot of people and a lot of body pain that can be helped. I mean, I think that would be a very fulfilling line of work. And I think it pays pretty good too. If you have repeat clients, depending on. Wait, why are we going this way? Isn't that the Silver Spoon? Ebenezer Road should be right nearby, shouldn't it? There's Middle River. I thought it was. Maybe it was on that side. I think it's the diner we used to pass going to the beach, but I don't see Ebenezer. Maybe it's the next diner after this one. Let me see. Middle River. Got distracted for a second. I love the beach, the Baltimore beach. The one in the Hammerman area. I love that beach. If you're around, yeah. Coming out of the inner city area. Anyway, I'm pretty sure like 100,000 a year. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Granddad old school. Granddad is old school, I think. But see, he grew up in Baltimore. And Grandpa Guckenberger, Grandma Guckenberger, they both grew up in like inner city Baltimore. And they both didn't want to live there anymore, so they bought a farm. Or I'm pretty sure Grandpa bought the farm. I don't think Grandma was working at the time. She didn't really, I don't think she was working at all until after the divorce, and then she picked up 2 different jobs. And trust me, the divorce, I think, was in this particular, obviously it's not something we aim for, but in this particular case, and this was before divorce was more accepted, but like, yeah, something really bad happened, and I understand why that happened. I understand why the divorce took place, but I understand. Not going to say whether it's right or wrong, but they're just people do certain things, and they're sometimes people cross the line, if you know what I mean. I try not to in my life. I try to be either when I have energy, try to be happy and contagious, and when I'm like I am right now, I try to be a little bit more mellow. But I don't want to be sorry, I had a little bit of phlegm, but yeah, I don't try to. Anger is something that I think we should try to avoid when we can. There are very few reasons to get too riled up. There are some cases where it seems very justified, but it's very rare. Well, that's a gorgeous house over there. Holy moly. If I had Oprah money, there are so many of these old buildings I would just love to buy. Oy. Anyway, what would you say? Wait a minute. Something A just realized that you are in Maryland, right? I sure am. Don't call yourself stupid, though. Don't call yourself stupid. I mean, I can't force you to not do something, but I'm just saying, you shouldn't degrade yourself. Oh, okay, gunpowder's the next turn. The next turn! So yeah, that was the other diner. So I thought the wrong one. Other diner should be coming right up. As a kid, I really wanted to go to that diner. We would go to the Baltimore Beach. Baltimore County, not city. There's the diner. But, there it is. But, when I was younger, I didn't understand money. Mom gave us an amazing childhood, especially with the limited resources we had. She went above and beyond to use a lot of the money to make us happy, despite, it probably taking a toll on her many times. Even into adulthood, she has sacrificed a lot for us over the years. She's a good mom. Planning to, I should do something nice for her sometime. My dad too. My dad is amazing. I should do something nice for him too. And no such thing as a perfect parent, but there are parents who go above and beyond. And yeah, my parents are both good, very good parents. Never going to say perfect on anybody, but I'm blessed to have them. Let's see. Anyway, oh, I do that all the time because I think good. You cannot. I mean, you can. Obviously, you can, but you should try to think of yourself. Now, one of the things when I was, I don't know, like, there was a time in my life. Let's put it this way: there was a time in my life where I would put myself down a lot. And some of it might stem back to like the gaslighting and stuff. And I think there was a lot of emotional abuse, not that long ago. And I think there still is. I think I've just learned to deal with people better. But like, you cannot let other people dictate. Well, obviously you can. You shouldn't let other people dictate what you think about yourself. Now, obviously, we shouldn't be overly proud of ourselves. I don't think that's good. But I don't think we should think of ourselves in terms of shame either. We're just people. That's all it is. I have my master's degree, I have my bachelor's and my associates, I have my TEFL certification. That's why I'm trying to get a high-paying job again, because I'm working 2 lower-paying jobs right now. I'm trying to get back into it. But it's like, that doesn't make me special. It just makes me another person, just trying to make it like everybody else. But that also doesn't mean like, oh, like the people that'll be like, oh, you got your degree in this, oh, you're so terrible. What were you thinking getting your degree in this or that or whatever? And there are people like that too. It's like, well, you can't, like, the negative thoughts, like, obviously I don't think we should be too proud of ourselves, but we also shouldn't be too, there's another extreme, which is like thinking that we're not good enough. And it's like, for what? Good enough for what? It's like, I'm good in, like, if, it's the people, I don't know. There's so many things to tackle, and I did donate plasma earlier, so I'm kind of wheezy and not the best at articulating myself right now. But, when it comes to just human relationships, it's like, if there's nobody in your life that is treating you with decency, you got to find some people that are treating you decently. Because, you're good enough for the people that really want to be a part of your life. And if you're having trouble finding those people, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or anything. It just, I don't know, I don't want to see you degrading yourself. Like, a lot of us have done that when we were younger. At some point in our lives, and it's just not healthy, I don't think, because nobody's good, nobody's perfect, but I think there's a sense of self-worth that we should have. Doesn't mean we need to think we're the hottest poop in the world, doesn't mean we have to think but it doesn't mean we need to think we're stupid or anything. We don't need to think like that. That's kind of mean. Anyway, let me read your comments. I'm so sorry. Let's see. They're flashing their lights at me. Pretty sure like 1,000 a year. That's 100,000 a year. That is good money. Wait. Oh yeah, Maryland. Oh, wait, let me see what you wrote. And funny. I just transferred it. Oh wow. Is it Towson? I mean, you don't have to tell me, but is it Towson? I got my bachelor's from Towson. That's in Maryland. There's Harvard Community College. That's where I got my associate. There's like associates. There's Cecil Community College. There's what's it called? There's a bunch of colleges and universities here. Let me see. It's mostly because my toxic ex, though, and you're helping me through. That's good. Difficult moments. Yeah. Just so hard. Just so kind of you. Yeah, well, we should be kind. Well, I mean, part of it, I think, too, is if we're kind to ourselves, I think we find it better, sometimes easier or more natural to be kind to other people. So, like, I think we should treat ourselves with kindness, because if we're too cruel to ourselves, I think sometimes that cruelty can often, I think, extend to other people. So I think one of the big motivating variables, I think, that led me to be nicer to myself was my concern for other people. If I'm toxic, if I'm overly toxic with myself, I don't want that toxicity to spill out onto the people I care about. And whether or not they care about me, to some degree is seemingly, at least partially, irrelevant. It's like I care enough to not want to hurt other people, even if they've hurt me. And of course, with my values and, in my beliefs, my faith, like I believe that forgiveness is so pivotal. But, so yeah, I don't want to hurt other people, even if they have hurt me. I don't want to add to a vicious cycle, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you are in a romantic relationship with somebody who is overly toxic, yeah, I would say that's a good reason to leave the relationship in many sort of, and well, yeah, you said boyfriend, not husband. So yeah, if it was your boyfriend, yeah, that's a good reason. Yeah, you're not like if it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're not locked in yet, as the kids say. So you're kind of just ready to, yeah. I mean, you're pretty much there. You're not tied to them in the same way. So like I would say if someone's being emotionally or physically abusive, it's time to end that. I think so. I don't know though. I know it starts with, what was that? What was that in response to? I'm sorry. I am very low on plasma right now, so I'm trying to, as they say, tap in. I don't know. It starts with H. Oh, what were we talking about? H. I think it starts with H. What starts with H? Oh, I have a new one. So he is the other, in the way less toxic. That's okay. That's good. He has his anger moments, but not that bad. I would just be careful. Like, and definitely when I was younger, I definitely had a lot of anger concerns at times, but I've definitely gotten better with it. I don't know how old he is, so like it's difficult. It's difficult, especially in a lot of societies. Men are often treated very poorly in many circumstances, so I think the anger is kind of one of the results that you have. If people are being overly strict to, men in a society, then yeah, one of the consequences is, men finding ways to deal with the anger they feel from being mistreated. Obviously, if they take they take the hurt from their own lives onto other people. If we do that, that's something we shouldn't do as human beings. Don't let the bad that is, that's, well, at least as we're trying to break the cycle, so to speak. I think as human beings, a lot of us are trying to break the bad cycles, because they do exist. And there's plenty of them, but we don't want to add to those dangerous cycles that exist. We want to do away with them in various respects. There's all kinds of toxic cycles that exist, and we want to say no more. But it's not always easy, so I kind of corrected myself instead of saying don't do that, because I'm not perfect either, and I don't want to become a hypocrite by saying don't do something that I might find myself doing at some point. So I'm trying to be careful, you know what I mean? I think, let's see, I have a new one. Oh, he's 27. Yeah, okay. So he's probably getting about that age where he's probably learning to deal with his anger more. I think by the time he's like in his 30s, he'll probably be a lot better at it if he's working on it now, which I assume he is. I assume you guys are probably working with him on that. And I assume since you're in college, I assume that he is aware of certain things that some people aren't, who don't have that educational background. So if a lot of people, I think, who have that either awareness or maybe inclination towards awareness. I don't know. There's a certain kind of person who ends up going to college, and I think a lot of those people tend to be people who are more aware of certain things and more prepared to tackle things. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's typically how it goes. So I assume that he is, I presume there's a good chance that he is working on his anger. And if he is, good for him, because it's not easy. It's a rough world out here, and we're just trying to do the best we can, right? Kind of thing, right? So, presumably that's the same case with him. It's not easy either, too, because like there's a lot of times there's something that one partner in the relationship will see something that the other partner isn't aware of, and like trying to dictate what's fair and what's not, and try to understand one another. I mean, it's a lifelong endeavor, right? So it's not easy. It's not easy sometimes, man. It's just I gotta grab some gas real quick. It's not easy. It's not easy, and I think we're aware that it's hard, and we try to be patient with one another oftentimes. But if you meet people who don't have that level of patience, don't have that level of dedication to trying to better ourselves, those relationships, those are the dangerous ones. We gotta, try not to get into, I think, generally speaking. And trust me, I've been in my fair share of toxic relationships. I've had a couple of women get physical. And of course, as a man, it's much more difficult for me to really say anything to anybody without them just laughing me out, because it's like, my granddaddy raised me never to hit a woman. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to still hit you. So if you have that moral, that ethical code that I'm not going to ever hit a woman, but yet sometimes they'll still hit you and take advantage of that, it's kind of messed up. And it's like you can't really report that to anybody because most of society doesn't seem to take that as seriously, or at least a significant portion. I think it's getting better, but yeah, most men don't even report it because it's laughed at so much, unfortunately, which is sad. Because whether or not the person actually hurts the other person, the intent of hitting in general, it just shouldn't be acceptable, period. Whether it's a hard hit or a light hit, if you're hitting with the intention of hurting them, it shouldn't be accepted in a relationship. That's just, of course, that's your cue to just leave the relationship because, you shouldn't be doing that. Let me see, is it bad, though, that I'm 21 and he's 27? Why? That's only a 6-year gap. I mean, going upward, you're 21. Your brain typically finishes fully developing around your mid-20s, like 24 to 26. But society it seems to indicate that you're old enough to make those kind of decisions. From me personally, I think 21. I think that's fine. I think if he was 28 or 29 or 30, I think it would be okay. I think if you went 6 years in the other direction, it might be problematic, obviously. But, 21 and 27, I don't see an issue with that at all, really. Except for the fact that your brain hasn't fully finished physiologically developing until your mid-20s. So I do hesitate a little bit in thinking, well, you haven't got to that point yet. But, if we were going to be like, if we're going to kind of like consider every single factor that could possibly come up, then who would be in a relationship? If we want to make the mind you don't marry your twin, right? You marry somebody often who is very different from who you are, including their gender typically. So, a slight age gap, that's part of that, I think, that difference in the two people. And I don't think 6 years is a big deal. Not at 21. At 18, it might turn some eyebrows, or some eyebrows might go up, but even then, if you're like 18, 19 and you're dating 6 years older, it's like whatever. From a legal perspective, it's obviously legal. From a moral perspective, I don't think it's immoral. We can't account for every variable and the differences, whether it's, slight difference in age or it's a slight difference, in gender. I think the genders are, biologically mostly the same. Obviously we have physiological differences, but I don't think there's that much difference. But different enough culturally, especially, and of course hormonally, that there are some things that make it a little bit difficult in relationships. But yeah, and then there's that too. And then of course, a lot of times when people date, they'll often date, interracially, which is pretty much the norm these days. So there'll be like ethnic differences as well. But I mean, you don't marry the person who's your identical copy. You marry somebody who is very different from you oftentimes. So I don't really see an issue with it. There's a slight difference in the age, but you're both, well enough into adulthood. And the age gap isn't that different. So yeah, I don't really see an issue with it. He gets scared for me a lot though. Well, why does he get scared of you, for you? People should not have done that to you. Oh, the exes? Yeah, no, they probably. Well, no, they definitely should not have. Not even probably. They definitely should not have. No, but it does happen. It does. Actually, I got to put this gas on real quick. But it's wrong. It's definitely wrong. It's definitely wrong. People sometimes do justify it. They're like, "Well, you're a man," but no, it's messed up. No matter what gender it is, 100%, 100%. But it's yeah, no, it's it's I don't even know how to react. It's messed up. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. Yeah, but it happens. It does happen, and it's more common than you think. I did a one of my academic papers. I did it on domestic abuse against men because it's something that's almost never talked about. And there does seem to be a lot of agreement that men typically don't report, are much less likely to report those incidents because of societal pressures. So it's messed up, but it's something that I was trying to bring more light, shed more light on, in one of my academic papers in the past. But obviously, it's wrong no matter who it happens to. It's messed up. Period. You urban explorer? I like exploring in general. Country, city. I mean, I've been to 7 countries so far. Give me one sec. Let me fill this up. I'm not filling up that much. I'm gonna probably put like $5 or $3 in it. I'm just putting enough to get home at this point. It's not at my main gas station, so I can't get the rewards. There we go. I like these candies. They're good.
Hey, I'm Sir Lazar, and here's your What's Trending Holiday Gift Guide.
Lazar?
Shopping hints without the cringe. Share your Amazon wish list. Tag your dream item on Instagram or share it in the DMs.
Lazar.
Because your wish list is your spotlight. For more, go to What's Trending.
Oh, fudge. All right. Receipt? No, thank you. Made enough in deliveries to make the trip worth it, plus the $100 I made, so that's not too bad. Could have been better, but yeah. I think it's a little rough to... Okay, let me read your comments real quick. Sunglasses. I don't have Maine. Maine what? KK. What don't you have a Maine of? Oh, like preference in traveling. Yeah. Oh, there's Hip Hop Chicken. I think I did delivery for them years ago. When I say that something's a new location, for me, it could be years back when they opened. It just feels like it's new because I remember growing up without it. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, they opened up not that long ago. They'd be like, oh, it was 5 years ago. And it's like, yeah, but you're so much younger than I am. It feels kind of new to me. Oh, we're in Edgewood. That's where we're at. Oh, let me turn the lights on. That's the sheriff's office. Thank heavens I've only ever had to be there once. Not the funnest place to visit, but I didn't do anything wrong. It was actually someone who did something bad to me. Someone had stolen something from me. And I ended up going to the sheriff's department. But, as far as I know, my record is clean. I've never been arrested, as far as I know. I can remember. Pretty sure I would remember that. Definitely never been to jail. Not planning to. Don't do anything too out there. I mean, when I was younger, I lived a little bit more on the edge, but that was kind of like a burst, and it was after some things happened. I think they just hit in the back of my car, but as long as they didn't scratch it up too bad. This Edgewood, you kind of expect that here. Yeah, that sounds kind of bad. I think they did hit the back of my car, though. Anyway, why am I telling all this? Countries I visited? Philippines is one. I have a house there. I took a road trip to southern Canada, like in Ontario. I went as far as Toronto for a little bit. It was just a road trip. I've been to Ukraine, very briefly in Poland, very briefly in Japan, and very briefly in the United Arab Emirates. I'm kind of hesitant to go back to Ukraine, even if I start making the money again. I don't know if I'd want to see all the destruction that's happened to it. I'm not afraid of it. I've learned to do away with fear of anything other than Adonai, but at least for the most part. You know, I think fear is a hindrance in many cases. And I try not to be afraid of anything, but as far as like seeing all the devastation, well, I'm not afraid of anything but Adonai, but at the same time, I would still see the devastation of the area. I have lived a little too much on the edge sometimes. I've done some dangerous things I probably shouldn't have done, but, or some people would argue that. I think it's what makes life fun sometimes. Oh yeah. Oh, on record, technically, yeah. That happens. Life definitely happens, doesn't it? Holy moly, does life happen sometimes. I think I'm on record, actually. I was trying to think about that. I don't think so. Of course, when I was living a little more on the edge, that I think is largely, yeah, it's not like it would have been impossible, but there were a lot of eyes that there were some eyes that were on me, but not every eye. So it was a blessing that I received, not ever getting on record when I was younger. Not that I did anything too out there, but out there enough to where things went differently. I could have had a small record. But like, no, I never like. Nothing. I don't think anything that people would find that out there. What am I saying? Or maybe they would. everybody's different. Perspectives and when it comes to things like ethics and morality, drastically different from one person to the other. I definitely have spent much of my life trying to develop myself ethically, though. You've been to USA, okay, yeah, Australia, New Zealand. I would love to go to New Zealand, yes. Russia, very nice. Здравствуйте. Hungary. Nigeria is another one. That's actually another one on my bucket list is Nigeria. India, that's another one. France, Morocco, Singapore, Poland, and stayed a couple of weeks in Germany. Germany is another bucket list one, yep. Yeah, that's awesome. What's the I just want it known that it's not like I've never broken any of the laws that exist. But I do try to live clean these days, and yeah. A lot of people think that I've never committed any crimes in my life. It's like, well, I'm human. I'm a human being. I've tried to live more and more ethically as time goes by, but we've all made mistakes. I mean, some worse than others. It's not like I was going around stealing. It's not like I was doing like going around shooting up towns or anything. But you know, I mean, like when we were younger, we did things we weren't supposed to do. And we learned our lessons. You know what I mean? Well, I think most of us learn our lessons from when we were younger. Not everybody, but I think most of us do. I guess I'm just trying to point out that I'm empathetic to you having a record because, you know, we're human. I'm not going to like throw you under the bus like how dare she? You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. I get scared when urban exploring due to black mold is really, yeah, that's why a lot of people don't do that. Yeah. Dead air, still water. Oh, that's another. I've heard that's really bad too. What's I think I've heard dead air before, but what exactly? Why is that dangerous though? What is it exactly, and why is it dangerous? And still water. I've heard that's really bad, but I'm not entirely sure why. Is it because it attracts chemicals and things that that don't end up getting disposed of, or is it something else? Squatters. Oh, that's something from a horror film right there. You talk about meeting squatters when you're doing that. That you probably do. You go with your boyfriend because I feel like that would be way safer. Police reported ahead. Okay. Oh, I see him. Thank you, Google Maps. Thank you. Yeah, and yeah, yeah. I would probably. You should take your boyfriend doing that, and maybe another friend or two if you're going to do that. I would think. At the very least, I wouldn't do it alone. Yeah. Oh, there was this old like these people used to do this urban exploring. I remember. Now I don't know if they might have faked it for views. I don't know. By the way, do you record it and put it on your channel? Because I would actually. That's something I used to watch. I would probably give you some views for that. I don't always have time to watch YouTube, but yeah, like I would definitely love to like. There's a calm it brings to me, I think, or like an intrigue or something. Something it brings something to me. Something deeper than the everyday. Kind of like the documentaries I would watch as a child. Something about it just stirs something within me. Deep within. Very deep. A kind of depth that isn't even deep because it's outside the realms of depth. Something, yeah, it's kind of something otherworldly for me. I love that kind of stuff. Those kind of, or I should say, I love that. I enjoy it. I enjoy the urban exploring. I'm having a hard time. Yeah, I guess I'm low in plasma right now. Articulation is not the best right now. No, it is not. But let me see. What are you saying? Yeah, black mold's another big one. Radiation is really bad, especially if you're like urban exploring in like Ukraine or something. That can be very dangerous. Asbestos is bad. I don't know if it's, depending on how much it is, I don't know if it's as bad as some of the other things you mentioned. Oh, excuse me. Not good though. Not good. It can cause lung damage. Ooh, I got asthma as it is. And other symptoms. Still water has a brain-eating, kind of thing. That's probably why I was warned about it. And so now I go with my friends because the is too stubborn and doesn't want to get a record. Oh, that's why you have a record. I was wondering. Yeah. Well, so you're still, you're 21. That's why. That's probably around the age I started getting out of the more wild phase. Sorry for using the W word, but yeah, I think that's around the age I started to finally come to. No, actually, no. It was when I was 24. I think it's when I really started to settle down into a more. So you're at that age, yeah. You're at that age where it's it can cause. Oh, I thought you wrote something else. I've been really enjoying what you've been sharing with me. You're into skincare. You're studying. What is it? What was the term you used? I know what the career is, but it's was it physical therapy, something like that? Something either that or related to that. You've been in a previous abusive relationship, which I have too, so I get it. I don't know. It's from Canada, right? I don't know. I love this. I love this conversation. Honestly, I wish I could see more of your comments, but now that we have more red lights, you can probably throw me a few more. To be honest, it started at age 15. The urban exploring. Yeah. I can. Yeah, but you're still at that age where you're not really, you know what I mean? Like you're still got that, I don't know, spice in you. Not that everybody loses it. Some people are spicy their whole lives, and I like to think that I'm still sometimes spicy. I still do some things that are risky. I don't know about that risky anymore, but I still do. Well, it depends on the context. Like I'm definitely willing to put myself in a situation that's life threatening. I don't tend to, like, do it with the same fervor as I guess it depends on the context. Sometimes I still, sometimes I do. I don't know. It's just stuff like that where it crosses legal boundaries. I don't really do that anymore. Do you post it on your channel though? Because I'll definitely watch it. We can have more in the near future. Yeah, that would be cool. You and your boyfriend are definitely welcome to add me. I have a Facebook, Insta. You're definitely, if you want to post on this channel, you guys are all welcome. I like meeting people that I can talk to. I can't seem to talk to everybody. Not everybody wants to talk about certain things. I think there's a lot of things that we would enjoy. Some people are just more talkative too. Some people enjoy a good, especially a conversation if it has some sort of intellectual stimulation or some sort of, in some way, stimulating. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody wants to talk about skincare. I love that kind of stuff. I wish I knew more about it. I don't know as much as I should. And it's an area that I should definitely get more involved in. But I'm sure it's also highly related to biology. And you talk about like physical therapy, like all these things. These are all good conversation starters. Been to other countries, urban exploring. Yeah, a lot of people like, and I've gotten like this past year. It's been mostly me just working and going home. But no, I prefer to have I don't know. It just some people we refuse to just be too. This is all I do because like I'll hear people say same day different poop, and I'm like no. Like maybe for you silly goose. My days, yeah, sure. When I'm at work, it's the same schedule, which I like. The same days and everything. I like that part. But even at work, like different things happen different days, and there's like different. There's all kinds of things I'm doing before work or after work or during my days off or whatever the case may be. I mean, like, it's not the same day, different poop. Like I just graduated from university. It looks like my degree should be confirmed and sent shortly. Like I do all kinds of things, like the university traveling, and it looks like you very, very similar with that regard. And it's like, yeah, some of us refuse to be overly defined by our surroundings. We want to be who we are and have some fun with the amount of time we have on this planet, you know? Not saying we should be having bad kinds of fun, but you know what I mean. You know, a lot of us refuse, you know, a bit rebellious, I guess you could say, but maybe also cultured though, you know? There's a lot that you benefit from traveling to other countries, from meeting new people, and you know, just talking to people. There's a lot of value in that when you have the opportunity for it. And a lot of people, I feel like, ignore that. But it's like a lot of people, I think, ignore some of the richest aspects of human living. Because if you get into a routine, you know, it can be beneficial. But if you never break free from that routine ever, you know, I feel like you're potentially missing out on a lot. You know, routine is very good, and routine can be very healthy, but, you know, do we really want to have the same routine for, you know, 60 years of our life or 70 years or whatever? You know, I feel like it's nice for things to change. It's nice, and not just what school we go to or whatever. Like, it's nice to have things mixed up a little bit. It's nice, you know? Let's see. Oh, is it no, but you should watch TP Urbex? Let me screenshot that so I know what you're... Oh, so I know to look that up. I do when I urban explore. I am crazy and enjoy running around and using it to exercise. I'm about to go to the gym. I have bad knees, so I don't really run anymore, but I will fast walk. I lost like, what was it, like 60 or 80 pounds, something like that, since I started doing it. I lost a lot of weight. I think it was 60 pounds, they said. It was 60 pounds, I think it was. But that was just from when they, at the Plasma Donation Center, were seeing the difference. I might have actually been more than that at one point. I went from having a big old belly to, depending on the day of the week and how much I'm eating and how much I'm exercising that week, I've lost quite a bit of weight. Now I'm still I'm a taller guy, and I got a bigger build than a lot of people do, so it's never, you know, it's not like I'm gonna always look 100% skinny, but it's nice to look down, and yeah, I don't know. But then again, I don't know. Personally, in women, I like the thicker, traditionally, but and myself, I don't know. I feel more comfortable in my own skin now that I've lost the weight, but no shame on anybody that has extra weight, because a lot of the most attractive women that I've been attracted to in my adult life have been bigger, so there's no hatred that way either. It's just, I probably shouldn't bring that up. For a lot of women, that's a sensitive topic. I probably shouldn't have brought that up. Just checked the website. I got accepted for college, and it says Harvard. I would be careful. There are a lot of scams out there. I would call Harvard University just to make sure. If you did, that is amazing. But I would call them. I would call them. Be very careful. There are a lot of scams out there. But if you got it, that's awesome. But please double check. We have to be diligent these days. We have to be very diligent. Better cuddles, yeah. Well, that's kind of my thinking too. Like the opposite sex, or sex. With women, yeah, I prefer cuddly, but I also realize that having more weight for many people can be uncomfortable, and for a lot of people it can potentially lead to a lot of health issues. So obviously, I don't say like, hey girl, you gotta eat some more. Like, I'm not gonna become a feeder just because I have certain preferences. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the health of the people you love, I think, has to some degree, be more important, at least most of the time, if not all the time. Or at least we should attempt to make our concern for those we love, their health, to have the priority over personal preferences and appearance. You know what I mean? Like a person's health is more important than how attractive their partner is, I think. Now, there are people who probably disagree with me on that, but I think that like ethically, I think it's hard to argue against that. You know, because then you have things like anorexia and bulimia too, and yeah, like that's unhealthy too. It's like all these things that, you know, end up affecting people's health. It's like I'd rather be with somebody who is, my back. I'd rather be with someone who is as they are but healthier than, you know, to push, you know, personal points of attraction. But not everybody agrees with that, obviously. But I do think that we should make an effort to make health a priority over personal desire. And personal desire is not something that you necessarily live with 24/7 either, you know. So it's like, you know, it's not. I don't think a man's desire for a woman or vice versa is the most important factor or variable. I think it's. Yeah, I think health definitely is definitely important. Definitely. Fiddlesticks. I was supposed to go to storage today too. I'll do it later. I will. What does it say? Big bed of cuddles and little man, little hugs and tiny fingers. And little man, little hugs, little fingers, tiny fingers. Big man, better cuddles, and little man, little hugs and. For me, it just depends on their personality, not looks. Yeah, I think a lot of people are not want to admit this, but I think for most people, it's like if the personality isn't there, like the attraction just isn't there. You know, like for many of us, the personality is like the most important thing, I think, in attraction, especially like a long-term relationship. Because like if it's just like a one-night thing, which I'm not encouraging, by the way, but I'm just saying some people do get into the one-night thing, and you know, for them, they might mostly be thinking about looks and perceived personality, not real personality, but like temporarily perceived personality based on what little they're able to gather. And they might make a narrative of the person in their mind. But like in long-term relationships, which I think is a lot of people, you know, when it comes to long-term relationships, it's the personality plays a pivotal role for so many of us, because it's like it's one of the major sources of attraction in those scenarios. You know, you'll see if you're dating someone long-term, you might see them dress in a variety of ways and fashions. You might see them when they're sick, when they're healthy, when their skin is soft, when their skin gets hard, all kinds of different things. You know, when they smell like roses, when they might smell a little rough after a long day. You know, like you get to know the person in an intimate way that you don't get to know other people. And so the attraction doesn't necessarily come from, you know, like a singular area, like just, you know, overall appearance. It often comes from something much more intimate, which would include the personality for a lot of people. And for me, the personality is like the most important aspect of a romantic relationship. Not that looks has nothing to do with it, but obviously the personality plays a huge role. And the thing is, like, looks, you can find a person more attractive over time the more you get to know them, if they have a good personality and a good heart, etc. Like, you know, like they're good on, like, there's something that you like about them on the inside. The outside can become more appealing with time. Of course, the reverse can be true as well, but the personality, you know, the something about them psychologically plays such a pivotal role. I think most people don't talk about it, but I think it is quite common for that to be the case. For me, it depends on the personality, not looks. Looks good, but act toxic, I don't like. Yeah, but we don't want people to act toxic. Don't care they look and have an awesome personality. I love them. Yeah, like, personality is so important. I was walking around my house and I just got jump scared by my cardboard cutout of David Diggs. Well, I don't know who David is. It's a very common name, but I don't know who that is. Don't know who Mr. Diggs is. I don't know why you have a cardboard cutout if you're easily jump scared. Why would you do that to yourself? If you were the one who made the cutout, you did that. Why? Are you okay? But why would you do that to yourself? Jeez. That's rough, man. That is rough. I don't know. You don't know. That's okay. I'm not. It's not like bad. It's just if you know it's going to scare you, why do it? I mean, it's cool to have something like that, but I don't know. Maybe like I don't know. I don't know how. Yeah, I get where you're probably coming from. You're probably like, oh, it's really cool to have this cutout. And on the other end, you're like, oh, it's going to terrify me at night. So I don't know. You're probably between a rock and a hard place on that one. It is cool that you have that. I love stuff like that, but that Target cart made us all the way over here. Recent years, we've had a lot of homeless come over here. That's probably related. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of exhausted, and I got to go to the gym. But I kind of tempted to take it back and put it where it belongs. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of busy right now. I don't know if I want to go to the gym when it's busy. Well, I'll probably still do it. And I have one of Ryan Reynolds. Okay, I know Ryan Reynolds is a little bit. Fell down my stairs. Whoa, are you okay? Are you okay? Well, that's definitely not good. It's it's you okay? Okay, well, I'm a little concerned now. I don't know how tall your stairs are. I don't know if you bruised yourself. I mean, I'm a little concerned for you now. I hope you're all right. I mean, I don't want to laugh or anything. I don't know how bad you hurt yourself. Um, I don't know if it was just like a little stumble and you're okay, or if you seriously hurt yourself. Yeah, I don't know how seriously I need to take this. You sure you're okay though? I wake up in the middle of the night and get horrified because I wake up to Ryan Reynolds staring at me. Why would you do that to yourself? You put it right next to your bed or your sofa or wherever you're sleeping. I don't know if that's a good idea. It's cool to have the cutout. I just don't know if you're placing them in the right places. uh, yeah, okay, good. I don't know if you're placing these things in the right places. Um, but yeah, I do got to go to the bathroom. I got to go to the gym, which the gym has a bathroom, fortunately. Um, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I have been enjoying this. I could stay out for like another 5 minutes if you wanted to. Let me see, what time is it? Actually, I gotta stop. No, I got plenty of time to do that. Actually, you know what? Oh, I really gotta pee though. No, I'll do this first. I think that should have $100 on it, and that. Okay, that had 20, but I used gas. Okay. Actually, give me a. No. No, I'll do the rest later. Actually, no. Wait, hold on. Give me 1 sec. Okay, the other app's loading. It'll just take 1 sec. To be honest, I don't know what to talk about. Well, I don't know. We've been having a pretty good conversation. I think we've been having some fun. Apparently, you're having a rough time around the house at night. With all the different people staring at you. Don't try not to be afraid. Is your boyfriend not? Is he not around right now? Is he working or something? Is that why you're this sounds like you're alone right now. I don't want to give anything away, but um or he is there and you're in the other room and you're getting jump scared, which does happen. And don't feel bad. It happens. I am curious though, how many more years of college do you have? To be honest, I don't know what MK. MK. How many more years do you have for your degree? I'm assuming is it bachelor's, associates? Not get a cardboard cutout of Hugh Jackman, and he laughs, and I have 3. How many cut? So you have the house. Okay, I'm just curious. The whole house is filled with or wherever you're living, apartment, whatever the case may be. It's all filled with or dorm room, whatever. It's filled with cutouts. And give me 1 more second. Let me check this. Okay, I can't take anything off of that card. The other card. Okay, let's get going. I'm gonna take the 100 out. I don't want to. I'm already starting to get sweaty and a little bit stinky, and I got to go take a bath and everything. I don't want to walk into Walgreens after I go into the gym too. I might actually use the shower they have there real quick too. I'm still gonna wash the clothes I'm wearing, but it might help. I don't know. Actually, this time of year though, I don't know if I want to do too much washing, more than I have to, because I don't want to get dry skin either. Maybe just a quick rinse off with some soap and water, and then put some more lotion on. Take care of the skincare. Watch out for the cart. Yeah. The cart was what I was bringing that up earlier. That's someone moved it all the way from Target, which is pretty long to do on foot. And not that bad, but kind of odd. Well, I don't want to be judgmental, but it is far away. Don't want to be judgmental. Not in a negative way. Not in a negative way. So like, I'm not criticizing you for. Well, I'm just joking about the cutouts, because I think because it seems like you're intentionally scaring yourself, or not. You're not doing it intentionally, but it does seem like it seems like the likely outcome of having a bunch of cutouts is getting jump scared. Unfortunately, as fun as it sounds during the day, it might be really cool to have them there. During the nighttime, it sounds like it could turn into a bit of a nightmare. I just don't know if that's the. I don't know, because like I know, like yeah. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how to react to that. It's really cool that you have them. It just does not sound like. It sounds like it's definitely like, it sounds like jump scares are inevitable. It sounds like jump scares were inevitable. 12. Perfectly fine. Thank you. I just cursed my cardboard cut out of Chris Evans because I forget about it. Well, you gotta, like, you're talking about it even in the chat. You gotta remember which ones are which ones. Prepare yourself when you're moving around, and then just, and then, you know, one thing that might help is if, like, you know, at nighttime, if you talk to them, you know, like say, "Oh, how you doing, Chris Evans?" It might take a little bit of the scare out of it if you treat it more silly than serious. And by the way, the jump scares that you have, that might also work for intruders too. Like any potential intruders that come in, it might scare them off if you have all those cutouts. So it might actually be really good home security kind of thing. It's kind of my thinking. It's actually kind of seeming like maybe I should do that. I kind of like that idea. Like the idea of just having all these cutouts everywhere. Because it would, I think, be good for, you know, the potential of an intruder, and it would be kind of just fun to have them. Kind of just fun to have them. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. What got you into that? Like, I'm a bit artsy myself. What got you curious? Is it just something you like to do, or was there like a story behind it? Because I'm definitely artsy myself. I am, at least when I have the time to do so, which has been very long. But yeah. Ryan Reynolds, Lynn Manuel Miranda, David Diggs, Hugh Jackman, and Holland and Chris Evans. That's all I remember. That's all you remember. There's more of them. Oh, I like to collect things too. It's perfectly fine. Just curse the board. Okay, you watch out for the cart. I have quite a few. Okay, I'm caught up, I think. I don't know if you're still there or not, but it says there's 0 viewers, but I said it before and you were still there. I also collect leaves and sticks. Yes, I used to when I was younger. I would love to get back into something like that again. I just don't have the room. Like, I already have things I collect, so like adding to it, whether it was like now, like I wanted to get into rock and shell collecting, and I collected some. I don't know where I put them because I just need to organize things and put them in their proper places. I might get into that kind of stuff again. As a kid, it was rocks. I do love leaves, especially like leaf painting or like there's various forms of art you can use leaves for. Like for instance, you can use it as a printmaking tool. So that's something you often utilize in like younger education as well. Because I'm an art teacher, that's one of the certifications I have. But you can also use them to if you have like cement or what do you call it? What was that stuff I was using? Not cement, cement and well, anything that you're paving anything with, like cement or oh, what is the other one? It's yeah, I'm low I'm low on plasma, but there's cement and then there's what's it called? The other one, the one that I was using, I used some mix, and I was at my house in the Philippines. I was doing some work on it, and it wasn't cement. It was the one that's a little bit less solidified. It's cement, and the other one fudge, whatever you call it. But you know those kinds of hardening mixes. You put you can like even leave the leaves in it. Like put them in strategic areas, wait for it to dry. You can use fire to burn out the leaf, and then you have the imprint. And then if you know if it burnt if it burnt the whatever it is that you are using it to imprint in, whether it's cement or concrete is the other one. No, cement is the duller one, or not the duller one. The cement is stronger than or concrete is stronger. I mean, but like whatever you're using, like if it leaves a burn mark, you could also then paint over it or use some sort of something that you might be able to. Not that you would have to. You could also burn the whole thing and have it kind of even out. There's so many fun things you can do with it. But if you have any kind of like something that you can get to its liquid state, or like a mix of something that can be in a semi-solid state for a little while, and then it hardens after time, whether it's something that's melted or a mix of something that dries out and hardens, like concrete, you can definitely use it for those kind of purposes. There's a lot of fun things you can do with leaves. Leaves are awesome. Leaves are amazing. Let me see. I learned the hard. Whoa. Let me see here. I collect. Look, if you touch poison. Oh, let me turn I'll cut this off. If you touch poison oak or poison ivy, I've touched. Well, no, I don't think I've touched. I've definitely had poison ivy. Poison oak was something I think my mom tried to keep me from touching as a kid. Because we used to hike a lot, so she I think was pretty good at keeping me from doing that. I learned that the hard way. Yeah, poison ivy. See, I grew up, all over like kind of like I grew up in areas that were more populated, less populated. I was kind of like tossed. Well, I shouldn't say tossed around, but like I was kind of all over the place in my younger years, and so yeah, like I definitely learned about poison ivy pretty early on. From some of the less populated areas. They learned the hard way. What's what it look like? Clay. Oh yeah, clay would be. Well, clay. Yeah, I like definitely could do that, because when you put it in the kiln, it'll burn off, and then you can, if it doesn't burn off, if it burns off if you're not able to peel it off, like if you push it too far in and you burn it in the kiln instead of pulling it off before it goes in the kiln, and if it does leave any burn marks, you could then glaze it. After you fired it the first time, and when you're ready to finally put it in the kiln the second time, you can glaze it first if that's an issue. Or, if it looks like if it burns around the area, if you leave the leaf in and it burns around the area in a way that makes it look nice, that's another. Art, there's so many experimental things you can do with art. And, a lot of variables might be like the kiln and stuff. Like, for one thing, you want to ask yourself, is the part that you're putting the clay into the kiln, if anything on the pot or whatever you're using catches fire, is that dangerous for this specific kiln? There's a lot of questions, a lot of experimentation. There's a lot of fun. I love art, but you definitely got to make sure you're careful. But yeah, there's a lot of experimentation when it comes to the field of art. Yeah, absolutely. I make art out of grass. They both itch a lot. Well, I would say poison ivy itches way more extreme than just regular grass. Now grass, yeah, well, you definitely get itchy, but poison ivy can be like an itchiness for days, and you get the red bumps if you get enough of it. Yeah, poison ivy can be rough. Poison ivy can be rough. Grass art sounds like fun. Um, and grass is really fascinating because there's so many different kinds of grass, and grass is relatively. I mean, there are plenty of smaller plants, but grass is relatively recent, according to scientists, as opposed to like other plants. Um, like moss, I think certain types of moss have been around for a very long time, but apparently, according to scientists, at least, grass is a little bit more recent in its development. Um, that kind of largely depends on, when it comes to well, that's another topic. Um, Mud helps a lot with poison oak. Yeah, I think I've heard something about using mud with poison ivy or something like that. It might have been poison oak they were talking about. I think we learned a lot about that when I was younger. Like Grandma Lisa, she had all her animals, reptiles, amphibians, and stuff, and she even came to our elementary school. And like Uncle Aram, he knew a good bit about reptiles, and yeah, like we. And when I was in the less populated areas, like we had quite a bit of fun. Like, and my mom taking me for hiking and swimming in the river, which would sometimes get muddy. Apparently, some of her coworkers would be like, "You did that? That's so gross." But it's like, how is that? How's that gross? And I think she was working as a cashier at Mars at the time. It's like, I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. It just doesn't quite seem the place where you would criticize something like that. But I guess they did. Some people just never really experience life in a very powerful way, or even want to. And it might even kind of stem from jealousy too. Some of the people she was talking to just might have been jealous that she was enjoying her life. Um, Kind of like with your urban exploring, it's like some people get jealous, some people get curious. You know, um, when I take pictures when urban exploring, mosses is in some of the rooms, and I use a light shade filter. I love using I'm assuming about your camera. I don't know if you post it anywhere. You might not. You might post it on like an obscure account or something to keep it safe with the legal concerns potentially. But no, I love photography. I have one of my cameras is very expensive, and thanks, my mom loaned me some money, and she eventually just said, "Don't worry about finishing the rest of the loan off." But it was a very expensive camera I got when I was in my second undergrad, and I love photography. But funny enough, I think I use my phone more than anything to take pictures. I don't carry the camera everywhere. It's very expensive, very delicate. But my phone I take everywhere, so it's But no, I've loved photography since I was like, I don't know, like 11, 12, something like that. Um, Back then I actually had to get the stuff developed where you would actually take it in to like Walmart, or not even Walmart back then. Back then it would have been like Wise, I think. Walmart probably did it back then, but yeah, we didn't. Back then, for some reason, we avoided Walmart for a while. There was a lot of complaining that it was hurting small businesses. I think people have accepted it more, and especially as the economy has made it kind of rough on a lot of us. A lot of us are just like whatever's cheapest, whatever's cheapest at this point. But no, I would love to, because of the legal ramifications. If you're unwilling to post any of it, if you ever just want to send me a DM or something with some of these pictures, I would love to look at it. I like this kind of stuff. I love this kind of stuff. Yeah, the still water would probably be my number one concern in it because the brain eating bacteria or whatever it is. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. Does not sound like fun. I'm probably gonna go get my money cashed out. Actually, I still got to run to the bank to deposit it. Then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll go home. I haven't really talked to a lot of people. I have some friends that would be willing to take me out if I contacted them again and let them know I finished the degree. The one friend, he kept asking me for help, and I was like, kept trying to help him, but he was a newer friend that I met, and he's somebody who does have long conversations about relatively obscure things. The problem is that I tried to help him early on, and I went back to my degree and stuff. I'm gonna have to contact him. When I was younger, I used to watch shark documentaries and other kinds. I fell in love with wildlife. Oh yeah, when I was really young, I'm assuming that's what you mean too. I was like I got obsessed with like documentaries of like wildlife in other countries, like that kind of thing. Like there was as a kid when I was like 4, 5, 6, around that age. I think it was like 4 or 5. I actually found a copy of this book, and I ended up kind of ruining it too. But the original, I think, got left in the move. I found a copy of it at one of the schools I was teaching at. They let me have it. And because it wasn't in a temperature-controlled environment, it got kind of smushed. I think I leaned into it at one point. But anyway, I'll try to find a pristine copy of it in the future because it was a big part of my childhood. But it had like all these different facts about these different animals, like in the rainforest. And I had my mom read me over and over again. Apparently, it made her bored to tears. But I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, growing up, I think that's perhaps why I don't have as long conversations like this with most people, because I don't find a lot of people who had that kind of intellectual interest from a younger age. And I think in a sense, I think we're kind of siblings in a sense, because we have to share that kind of interest. And I do very much cherish when I meet people like that. It's pretty rare, but running into people like you is relatively rare. And the people I'm thinking about that also have some intellectual curiosities, I really should reach out to them. Let him know that I probably should. I kind of dropped off the face of the earth because he kept asking for my help. I offered to help. His plans changed, and I had I'm sorry, sweetheart, I can't always work my schedule around your schedule. When I'm trying to do you a favor, you kind of got to meet me kind of halfway. And I was still working on my master's, and I kind of fell off. I think I felt kind of guilty that I wasn't able to help, because even though it was a reasonable reason I couldn't help, I still felt guilty that I couldn't help. So I think that's why I stopped talking to him. I think he's okay. I'll probably message him. I don't think he's mad at me for that, but I still feel kind of, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Some people, I think, are a little overly concerned about the feelings of other people. Sometimes, empathy, I don't know if it's overly, but a lot of us have a strong sense of empathy. And sometimes we find it, that connection kind of hard to manage at times. But anyway, I love sharks. They're actually more intelligent than I thought. Any pets, what are they? Cats. I used to have rats, fancy rats, the domesticated rats. Live with 2 cats now. My grandmother had dogs. I'm pretty used to dogs too. How about you? Oh, I have a fish too, a goldfish, from when I was teaching at a preschool. What kind of pets do you have? What's the angry face for? Did I do something bad? What was the angry face for? It's hard helping friends when they need help, but everything is tight, and I personally have to manage being a waitress and a few other jobs. Yeah, it's like we're all working more than one job right now, and it's often has nothing to do with our degree. And it's like, yeah, a lot of us are working multiple jobs. A lot of us are making less money than we're worth, and a lot of us are just struggling. And, it's like when you're asking for me over and over again for help, it's like, I want to help you, but you don't even have one job, and I'm trying to help you with something because you just got back from surgery or whatever. I want to help you, but I can't, there's only so much I can do because we're working. We're trying to get things done. We're trying to manage life, and it's easier said than done sometimes, yeah. For the most part, like, I want to help more people, but it's like, I got to help myself too. It's only so much I can do. There's a limit, There's a limit to how much we're able to extend ourselves. So yeah, I appreciate it. It seems like you recognize that too. And yet I don't have the money you need for things like that. Exactly. That's the thing too, is when people ask for money, and usually, like, when they're close friends, I think they usually are very hesitant to even ask. But it's like, usually the answer is, usually no. Now, if I start making money again, it might be yes or maybe or let's talk. But when you just don't have money, you don't have money. When you're trying to take care of your own needs, it's like you can't help everybody. A lot of people, especially when people aren't working as much as you, it's like I'm sorry, like, sweetheart, you're just gonna have to work harder. Not trying to be mean, and I don't usually say anything like that, but it's kind of the thought process. It's like, it's like if you need more, sometimes might be able to loan somebody a little bit of money, but for the most part, it's like if you just loan all your money out, you're gonna be broke. You're gonna be in a position where you need to borrow money too. And it's like I wasn't even able to pay all my bills last month. It's like, no, like I need to make sure that I am taking care of myself. And you can't help everybody. And some people, they're just going to have to work more. And that's a bummer for sure. But that's not a position we want to be in. But it's like sometimes it just goes that route. You know what I mean? And that's just something that a lot of them have to face eventually. My friend, he asked for over 20,000. Okay, I would say no to that. For a full year rent and other things, I gave him half my bank account and had barely 2,000 left. No, sweetheart, you should never. I mean, it seems like you have a huge heart, but you definitely should not have done that. Hopefully, he'll give you the money back, but that's just he's asking for too much. He's asking for too much, and I would make sure I would stay on top of him. I need that money back. I need that money back. You can give me in payments. I don't know if it's like $250 a month or whatever you want. I would say you got to give me some of that money back. But yeah, don't do things like that. I would say $500 would be asking for too much. 20,000 is way too much. Like I literally have a couple of friends who, from an inheritance, I think they inherited like millions of dollars. I don't know how much money they have. They got money though. They bought a very expensive house in a very expensive part of a very expensive town. They're stinking, as far as I know, they're pretty stinking, or not stinking rich, but like not like Oprah rich, but they're rich enough. They got money. I don't ask them for money. I'm pretty sure they still have over $1 million, like just sitting around, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they do. I don't ask them for money. You know what I mean? I don't ask them for money. So, it's like, even if I have to struggle and can't pay all my bills, I'm not, once in a blue moon, I might ask for some help with a very important bill or two, like a car breaks down or something. But yeah, for the most part, no. It's usually from somebody I trust very much, like a family member or something, and somebody that I can't escape. So like we're tied together through family, so I will have to pay you back. I have nowhere to run, that kind of thing. But like, yeah, even my rich friends, I don't have a whole lot of them, but even my rich friends, and there's a couple members of my family who are rich, I don't ask them for money. I don't ask them for money. Even when I am struggling, I don't ask them for money. You know what I mean? By the time he asked me, I had like 14 in my account, and people for money because. By the time he asked me, yeah, I would just stop giving them money. Don't give them any more money. Don't give them any more money. Like if it's somebody that you really, really like care about, it might be time to like talk to them about their financial endeavors, like why they are in the position they are in their position, right? If it was like a car breaking down or something, and you were certain that they would give the money back, I would maybe be more, maybe more empathetic to or considerate to that situation. But don't just give these people money like that. That's your money. No, you're not being a bad friend. If your friends stop being friends with you just because you don't give them money, they're not real friends. I'll be your friend, trust me. I'm not going to take $1,400 from you. I will be your best friend if you want. I'm not going to take all your money. I'm not going to even, I probably won't even ask. So just don't do that. If they're real friends will be your friend even if you say no and they ask for money. It's a fake friend if they leave you because you won't give them money. And if you feel like you need to pay for friends, There are people like me who will be your friend without asking for money. That's a dangerous game because that's a lot of money, and you need to make sure you're okay. You know what I mean? Make sure you're okay. Yeah, don't do that. Don't, especially, don't, yeah, just don't do that. Don't do it. Please don't do that. It's that's tragic. That's just tragic. At least I got 12,000 in my account now, and sometime Tyler asks, I'll give. Don't give Tyler any more money. Tyler is not your boyfriend, as far as I know. Tyler is not your brother. He's not your son. He's your friend. I would say if your emotions are too stirred by telling him no, I would have your boyfriend do it for you. Hopefully in a very kind and caring way, but I would have your boyfriend go talk to him about this. That's just too much money. Yeah, I would have Riker talk to Tyler. That's my suggestion. Have Riker talk to Tyler. Say, look, Miss Beverly is not giving you any more money, but we need you to pay back some of the money you borrowed. That's what I would suggest. Hopefully not in a overly mean way, but I think we need to be stern about this because it sounds like Tyler is attempting to use you. And I don't know what you get back from him emotionally or in any other way, but I don't think you're getting the best deal here. You see what I'm saying? I would be your friend without asking for anything. That's what friends are supposed to be like, right? Friends aren't supposed to ask you for things. And if they're asking you for money, that's dangerous. Nip it in the bud. Say no. Say no early on in those relationships. With Tyler, it might be a little harder now that you've gotten into the habit of doing that. So I would have your boyfriend do it for you, because I imagine you're going through a lot of emotions. I would have him do it. He probably doesn't know Tyler in the same way. He probably won't have the same emotional reaction as you would, and can probably do that a little bit more easily. I would try to communicate to Riker in a way that makes it a little bit easier for you to I would communicate in a way that makes it a little bit easier for you to address the situation. You know him way better than I do. I don't really know him, so I would communicate with him in the way that you know how to communicate with him, and try to nip this in the bud. Yeah, $10. $10. $10. $10 is doable. $10 is doable. $10 is doable. $1,400 is way too much. $500 is way too much. $100 is way too much. I would say put a cap on $20 at most, and only with people that you trust the most. Your boyfriend, any future children you have, boyfriend, children, those kind of people who are very closely connected to you. Yeah, don't lend out money to other people, especially not large amounts like that. And if you do, like I said, make sure they have a way to pay you back. It sounds like he's using you a little bit, or a lot. It sounds like he's using you a lot. So I would nip that in the bud. If he's actually a friend, you don't need to give him any more money, because a real friend will stay with you whether you have money or not. Oh, hey, Emma. Hey, Emma, you're back. If I told about Tyler's things, of course you would. I mean, like, I'm kind of trying to play it cool, but I'm not very happy with hearing that, because it sounds like they're using you. Don't let them use you anymore. Nip it in the bud. Either do it, yourself, or have somebody like your boyfriend, address the situation. And if you're afraid that your boyfriend will be dangerous in the situation, you're gonna have to be the one that says no. I'm sorry, but you can't be loaning large amounts of money to somebody who's just using you for money. That's not a real friend. You know what I mean? That's not a real friend. Oh yeah, Emma. I know, Emma. I told him about Tyler's things, he would make him, yeah, he probably would make a fuss. I mean, I'm not saying he should, but I don't understand why he would be emotional about that. Because it sounds like the woman he loves is being used. So, I'm saying, like, if Tyler is really your friend, you can test it. See what happens if you say no. If he stays your friend, then he's a real friend. If he stops being your friend, then he might not have ever been your friend. I know it's harsh to say that, but you gotta nip that one in the bud before it gets any worse. You gotta nip that one in the bud. I'm sorry to say it, but you got to. Not the only reason I'm really sorry to say it, because I know it probably is emotional for you, but you gotta, there are some people who will be. You've been singing and playing instruments, very good, very good. Every day is awesome. Hey guys, I'm not seeing any more comments. I'm sorry. I know what I'm saying is kind of harsh. I just don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to get used, Miss Beverly. I don't want you to get used by people, because you seem like a really nice person and you seem like a really good person. I don't want you to be used by people. You deserve better than that. Just said that Tyler he doesn't know friendship or anything about me, and that he just knows that I have money. Yeah, well, if that is indeed the case, you gotta tell him no at some point. And I'm thinking, as a woman, you have your man there, and he can hopefully protect you if things get ugly. But yeah, I would tell him no. Even if you care about this person, I care about tons of people, but I can still say no to people when I have to. At some point, you just got to learn to do that. It's not always easy. You get better at it. I've been very depressed lately. Keep playing your instruments, girl. Okay, hold on. I gotta go do this, and then I'll go to the gym. I'll be back in the car for a moment when I come back from getting my money, and I'll go to the credit union real quick to drop the money off. But I'm about to go to the gym after this, so I'm not gonna. And then I'll probably head home, and I'll probably start the stream again. But it's being mean when I say no. Is it being mean when I say no? No, it's not being mean. Real quick, do you think you really you know it's not being mean, right? This is actually a more common conversation than you might think. Hold on. Let me just turn this on for a second. Yeah, okay, good. You're still there. I want to make sure you heard me, because I saw someone left, it looked like. Look, it's not mean to say no. If he reacts in a negative way, he is the one being mean. He is the aggressor. He's the one asking for help. You're not being mean. If me and you were hanging out, I would not be asking you for money. Right? I might ask you to pay your side of the bill because money's a little tight on me right now. So I wouldn't want to pay both ways if we were, going to a food truck or something. But I would not, I wouldn't ask you to pay the whole meal. I wouldn't ask you for $500. You know what I mean? Like, even though I am going through another rough financial time in my life, even though I've had ups and downs, I've been to 7 countries, I've had up times and down times financially. Now it's another downtime. I'm working some jobs that are well below my worth, but even in my situation, I don't go around asking most people for money. Me and my cousin sometimes will ask one another for money, but it's not a whole lot, and we pay one another back. That's another thing. See, if he borrowed that kind of money from you and he's not paying you back anything, but he's asking for more money, that's an issue, right? Like when my cousin and when we borrow money from each other, we pay each other back. My cousin goes a step further, and he'll pay me a little extra back. He doesn't have to do that, but he does. He generally does. I'm not pushing him to do that, obviously. But you don't have to do that, but thank you. That was very nice. That kind of thing. But, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, no, either he's a good friend and he will pay you back, which I don't think is the case, or he's a poor friend and not really a friend, and he's just using you. I want you to find it within yourself. Find the internal, find the warrior within you, and go and address this. If it's somebody you see a lot, I understand that it's difficult, but try to find out how to do it. I know it's not easy, trust me. I used to be in a similar situation, but if you learn to start saying no to people, and trust me, we got like a lot of homeless people around here that I have to say no to, or at least people pretending to be homeless. I don't know how many of them really are, because I actually have had a lot of homeless friends, and they don't usually ask for money either. The people I've actually spent the night with a homeless person out in the wilderness before. I've met a lot of homeless people, and those people don't usually actually ask you for money, except unless it's for something small. Again, we're back to like the $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 range. We're not at the $500 range, right? A lot of the people around here, I'm not sure if they're really homeless. Some of them obviously are. Some of them are probably hucksters. It's hard to tell the difference. And I don't have the money to give out to people anyway. But you have to learn to say no to people in general. Because a lot of people ask, but if you're working 2, 3, 4 jobs, I'm working like 2 jobs and a side hustle. You can't do that. If you're barely, getting by yourself, you can't help everybody. And if you can't help yourself first, who else are you going to help? This is a big deal, because that's a lot of money that you saved a long time for. You see what I'm saying? Let me see what else. I have to get this money real quick, but is it okay? Let's see. No. Riker says that I'm too gentle for some people when it comes to money. Yeah, like somebody like me, somebody who tries to stand up for people who get taken advantage of. You can be a gentler person with somebody like me, because I'm not somebody. I try not to take advantage of people. In fact, if I see that if I feel like I am taking advantage of a situation, I reflect on that. So like people like me are safer around, but like people, it sounds like Tyler, you might want to stay away from. Riker says that I'm too gentle. So, in the 5 years since I've given Tyler the money and all, I've gotten back to it. Yeah. And see, that's what he should be giving you back monthly, not in the entire duration of that time. Yeah, I would talk to your boyfriend more about it, and I would try to figure out a payment plan. And if he doesn't want a payment plan, you might be able to figure something else out. I don't know if you could go about it legally or what, but you deserve that money back, because that's horrifying. You seem like a really nice young woman. I want to make sure that you're taken care of. It sounds like your boyfriend's doing a very good job, but I want to make sure that you know that you're supported, and that no, it's not mean to say no, and you have every right to say no to somebody like that. And you should. In fact, I think at this point you're morally obligated to say no. I think it's the right thing to do. This guy is not going to turn out as good of a person if he doesn't hear no more often. If he just keeps getting what he wants, he's going to keep doing that. And he's going to take advantage. There's a good chance he's going to take advantage of other people. If more and more people around this Tyler are putting their foot down, then he's more likely to develop into a better person, learning how to take care of himself. Otherwise, he might rely on other people the rest of his life. And that's dangerous for the kind of person he could turn into, or is turning into. You see what I'm saying? Do it for him, too. Do it for his best interest. You sound like a very sweet, kind, caring person, and I was in a very similar position to where you are. I didn't have $1,400 at 21 just to throw out like that, but this is a dangerous situation that you're in. You just got to say no. And if at any point he gets emotionally abusive or violent, that's one of the reasons I think your boyfriend knowing about it is very important. You see what I'm saying? You might, like I said, like he might have a little bit of anger issues. 27, that's not abnormal. But yeah, make sure he's nearby. My best friend is Tyler Twin, and he once took Tyler's phone and said that he had over in his account, and most of that is mine, though. Yeah, it sounds like he's scamming you. I would talk to Tyler's brother about trying to get Tyler's money back and figuring things out. I'll be back. I'll be like a minute or two. Oh, the blessings just keep coming in. There was some people in there. I was very happy that I heard him talking about Alemania in Spanish. Looked like either a German or Native American man, one of the two. And he was talking in Spanish. Apparently the cashier speaks German, at least a good bit of it. And there was two, I believe they were Hispanic men. I mean, they obviously looked like they were, the one gentleman at least looked like he was possibly part Asian. But of course there are Hispanic Asians, because the Spanish Empire got places like the Philippines. So there are plenty of Hispanic Asians, but I think he looked a little bit Asian. I could be wrong with that. Some Native Americans have a lot of Asian attributes, which I think is one of the reasons why some people might do seem to think that they might have come over from East Asia. But there's also, and here's another consideration too. When people talk about convergent evolution, they could have developed similar physiological traits in similar environments, which is, I think, more likely the cause of some like Inuits and other Native Americans, as well as many East Asians having the epicanthic folds around the eyes. It seems more likely a case of convergent evolution than them coming from there and that being the primary source, although both could be true. Some people think that the Native Americans came from Europe. Some people think they came from East Asia. Some people think they came from Middle Asia. There's all kinds of ideas as to, when the Native Americans came over. But yeah, a lot of the Spanish Empire took over a lot of the Americas. So you have a lot of Native American Hispanic people that are oftentimes part Spanish, part Native American. And similar with like the Philippines, part East Asian, part Spanish by, race and, of course, culture, overall ethnicity. It's very interesting. Anyway, I think you like that stuff too. Oh, I found out I can rewind live streams. That I did not know. In every case, I know that. Well, I think it depends. Oh, excuse me. I think it depends on the live stream. But I don't know if it's something that you do that we do individually as the people putting the streams out, or if it's like a setting, or if it's something like with YouTube restrictions, or if it's something that's just changed over the years. But I guess I did know that was a thing. I don't know. What am I saying? I knew that was a thing for some streams. I think I might have missaid and said I didn't know that. I might have misspoken there, but I know it's for some streams. I don't know if there's a way around it, or if it's I don't know. It's really kind of neat in many situations, but I don't even think I have the live replay on, which is a shame because we've had a very interesting conversation. So I don't know if I keep the video public, which I don't generally do, but if I do, I don't know if you'd be able to replay the chat, though. I probably should change that, because I do have some interesting conversations on here, and I'd like to keep the chat up. But then again, some people, I think, like the fact that I have a history of not doing that, because sometimes people will say something and not want it to go on in perpetuity. But I do private most of my live streams, so whether the chat replay is on or off, there's really nothing to worry about. If at the end of the day, if anybody says anything they didn't want to say, I could always private that live stream. I'm pretty respectful to people. At least I try to be. Not 100%, but quick question: the musical Hamilton? I've heard of it. I think I might have heard a piece from it. I've never watched the whole thing through. I think there's one song I heard. I think one of the parents of one of my former students, and the parent is actually, well, I shouldn't say that. I should keep her stuff secret. But I did make a promise. But in the end of the day, I think I have seen part of it. Yeah, very small, or at least heard part of it. And I do like musicals too, though. I do. Let me go back and make sure I read all your messages. Be right back. Going to check my texts. Okay. Let's see. Best friend telling with the. Alrighty, I am back. Well, I'm back too. Oh. I don't know if that was in response to, but you said, oh, dude. And what was that? So you said yeah to something. I don't know what that's in response to. Quick question. Okay, that was okay. The musical again. No, it's good. Oh, maybe I'll take a look at it at some point when I get some. I've spent more free time kind of postponing this than I normally would have. I probably should get back to the grind, but my favorite musical would probably be Fiddler on the Roof. Or I don't know if I can pick a favorite. Picking a favorite's kind of hard. But no, one of the musicals I really enjoy listening to, and you know, the songs in it. If I had the VHS in front of me and I had more spare time, I'd probably put it on once in a blue moon. But no, I love Fiddler on the Roof. I love, although I know there's some naughty language in it. Dr. Horrible sing-along blog. Actually, I don't think it's that. I think there's like a couple naughty words. I don't think it's really that obscene or anything. It's pretty relaxed compared to a lot of things. But Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, I've listened to those songs so many times. There's no happy endings, so they say. Let's see. Oh, no. Dr. Horrible sing-along blog. I love that. Oh, man. And that was like an earlier internet exploration kind of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was not the popular thing to do, really. But yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson was, Neil deGrasse Tyson. What's his name? Neil Patrick Harris. I said Neil deGrasse Tyson. I like science, if you can't tell. Neil Patrick Harris. He was. I hadn't really thought about the way the structure. Both of their names are kind of similar. But anyway, like Neil Patrick Harris, like I think he was an earlier fan of the internet than a lot of people, you know, back when a lot of us were getting on it, when it was not the normal thing or it's basically the common thing to do. And yeah, he was one of those people who was kind of outside of the mold of what, you know, people normally do or do commonly. And yeah, he took that as a venture. I don't know if he made a lot of money on it or not, but he definitely, I think, increased his cult following because a lot of people, I think, gained a lot of respect for him for doing that. And I think he got a lot of loyalty from the people who really like his work, and who also at that time were into the internet. I think it got him a lot of positive attention from a lot of people. Even if by today's standards it was a relatively small group of people, but I think that was like I'll have to look up when it was actually released. Like, the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that long ago, but it was long enough ago to where the internet was not being utilized as commonly as it is now. Because, you know, there was a time not that long ago where the internet was still a kind of obscure thing for a lot of people. It was not something the majority of people were getting into. It wasn't like everybody had a phone in their pocket that had access to the internet, and like the people who did have phones in their pocket didn't always use the internet on their phones. Now it's pretty much the standard practice for most people in modern life. You know, it's a lot of jobs require it, or at least highly push it. You know, you might trying not to use, you know, your apps on the phone at work might take more effort than just doing it. You know, even if they have a workaround, that kind of thing. That's how common it is now. Anyway, let me see what you were saying. Mine's the epic. The music. The epic? The epic. I'll have to check that one out. That actually sounds pretty cool. I love I'm Just a Man. I'm Just a Man. My hand hurt because I just punched my cardboard cutout front of Tom Holland. Yeah, well, first of all, if you put all the effort making the cutout, please don't punch them. Also, I kind of understand where you're coming from. But yeah, don't break those. You probably put a lot of work into that. Don't break them, for heaven's sake. Be right back. It's on. YouTube. Well, I gotta get going for a minute because I gotta go to the gym. I gotta end the stream for that. Looks like it's actually kind of busy, but I just gotta get this over with. I'll be on the treadmill for like 20 minutes, and I gotta go to the bathroom and stuff too. So I'll probably go on for like, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes or whatever it is. If you have my channel bookmark or whatever the case may be, you might just if you're still on later or you want to talk, you can just log in later. You're more than welcome to. As I'll probably stream on the way home, or at least consider it. But after this, I think I'm heading right on home. But yeah, if you want to log back in, yep. Oh, you said KK. It fell over. Yeah, don't. You put all that time into making those cutouts. Don't damage them, even if they make you upset. Just put them somewhere where they don't scare you as easily. Because if you have them everywhere, that might be impossible. But you know what I mean. You put all that work into it. Don't destroy your art. Hasta luego, hermanita. Oh, well. Yeah, my caffeine's running low, too. Well, we'll see. I'll probably stream on the way home. If you come in, you come in. But please subscribe so you can come back and we can talk. And you're more than welcome to add me on my socials. And if you want to talk about things, if you ever need help, there's only so, like I said, there's only so much I can do. Or I guess I alluded to that. There's only so much I can do, you know. And that's the same with you, too. So don't feel like you have to help everybody, because there's only so much you can do. And sometimes the best way to help somebody else is to tell them no. So just remember that you are valuable and that you can't do everything for everybody. And people who really love you and care about you as an individual will know that. They'll know that. Just remember that. Don't forget that now, okay? Don't forget that on me, you silly goose. Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, you take care. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. Caffeine, yeah, it only does so much. It's already like 8:30. So, see ya. Oi. Oi, 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 oi.